Right. The hospital was serving as a huge terror base, twice, by the way. In recent weeks, all of the terrorists that ran away from other areas just gathered there. And the Israeli IDF found, weapons and other terror, tools inside the maternity ward, inside beds, under the beds. It's just, the photos are unbelievable. The hospital, they were in the halls of the hospitals. I mean, obviously, before the operation began 2 weeks ago, Israel, the IDF evacuated all of the people who were hospitalized there. But other than that, there were, severe fighting going inside the halls of this hospital. The terrorists did not have a place to run under because, as you know, there were tunnels built under the hospital. They were taken out in the first phase back in December. So right now, the terrorists could not run to the underground, and they fought for 2 weeks. And now the hospital is in a very bad situation. I don't think it can serve the community anymore.
No, it looks as if it's really a building now that is no longer functional at all. Let's come back to these protests. Is it mainly the lack of priority to get the hostages back that have brought people out in their droves on the streets?
There is so many protests going on right now in a very complicated way. It is the family of the hostages who claim that the prime minister is stalling a deal. Other families of hostages do not agree to that. So there is like a division. We have 134 hostages with large families. So there's many people and they have different opinions. Some of them are just, they got tired of waiting for the government to do anything. Plus you have other demonstrations just against the government for the huge failure of October 7th and the huge, intelligence failure and the failure to protect civilian life inside Israel. So there's those protests. And, in Israel, we always have protests. So some of the protests are just, people who protested before the war for many reasons, in judicial overhaul and on. So the streets are filled with people that are, very frustrated with the government.
Very frustrated, yes, indeed. I mean, there's been a lot of analysis that Netanyahu is just motivated by hanging on to power with this small right-wing coalition. I mean, he's not likely, is he, to step down or allow elections?
Right. He has right now a 64 plus 8 coalition. It's like it's a stable, so-called stable government, but he has so many political problems in addition to this very tough war. One of them is the mandatory draft of ultra-Orthodox. They avoid military service. But the country is in a dire position. We lost so many people in the war. I mean, I'm talking about soldiers, not just civilians. And so many others are wounded. And Israel's IDF came up a couple of weeks ago and said, we are stretched. We can't do it anymore. We need more people. We need your help. I mean, Israel is a very small country. I don't know if you know that. It's just 10 million people. So the military is overstretched. We are facing constant bombardment from the northern part of Israel, from the Hezbollah. It's another terror organization financed by Iran. They bombard Israel day and night. We're talking about 60 to 70 rockets, rockets, missiles, and unmanned vehicles every day. Entire region is evacuated because people cannot live there anymore. It's a tiny country. So we are expecting, the need for more military operation, maybe in the north. Also, we are being hit from Yemen, from Iraq with missiles all over. I mean, this is in the southern part, and then in the western part, you have the Gaza operation. So with that, we need assistance. We need the people. And the way the ultra-Orthodox have been avoiding serving in the military for years, this is now on the table in a bill and in the Supreme Court decisions. And Netanyahu is unable politically to solve it because the people who do not serve are also his big allies. There's big supporters in this government. So in order to put forward a bill that will force them into the military, he's not doing it politically because they will step down from government. And if he will not do it, the other part, the secular part of the government, such as Benny Gantz and others, they will step down. So it seems to be like it's coming up in the next couple of months or so to the situation where you can no longer, I mean, you hit the dead end everywhere you turn. I mean, politically dead end everywhere you turn for him.
Yeah.
On top of everything, he's hospitalized today for a surgery. And he is in the hospital doing it's not a routine surgery, but it's not a big one, but also it's very unpleasant for him.
Yes, I think it's a hernia operation, is it not? Are there concerns
exactly.
with...
I didn't know the word for that in English, but
So,
it's unpleasant for him.
yeah, indeed. Are there concerns too in Israel that the US could be losing patience with the Prime Minister and the way he is managing this war?
Huge concerns. I mean, they are losing patience, and they were, sort of lobbying against Rafah. We call it Rafiah operation. But in Israel, you have to understand there's a big support for that operation because the terrorists are still hiding there, and they're still holding 130, innocent people. They're holding them alive in those tunnels. I mean, not all of them alive, but many of them are, about 99. So people think that maybe if we go into Rafah, we maybe be able to put the pressure to get the people out. It's a huge problem. The Americans said you cannot enter this area unless you bring up very good and detailed plan to evacuate Gaza civilians. That's true. Israel's IDF will need to evacuate those people, make sure they are moved somewhere else. The operation will not start for a month, I believe, not until they take care of the civilians, the Palestinian civilians, because we have also to make sure that they are not harmed. So, I mean, they need food, they need medicine, they need hospitals.
But look, that's not just those people that are sheltering in Rafah, but the humanitarian aid in Gaza is now almost, beyond comprehension, but it again appears to be being ignored by Netanyahu.
So there's a lot of blame going around for this being ignored by Netanyahu, even though there are around 200 to 300 trucks a day entering. But right now there's an operation going on by humanitarian groups named the World Central Kitchen. They just landed. They just arrived on Gaza shore like a couple of hours ago. They're going to unload lots of food in the northern part of Gaza. Plus you have the air drops. And the Americans are planning operation that will start next month with this floating jetty. I think Israel should do more. I think some of the concerns of the worldwide, community is justified. Israel can and should do more. This is another reason they did not start the Rafiah operation yet. Obviously, we need to make sure that people get, basic, treatment, food, shelter. But it's a very difficult situation. I agree, and I mean I hope your viewers understand that Israel is under constant attack of rockets, mostly from the north, but also from the south for 17 years, and it cannot go on with the terror organization still controlling those areas. I mean.
Yep.
It's a problem. They also get control of the food, so we need to make sure how the food gets to the people and to the children, to the women, and not just to the terrorists.
Yes, and that's something perhaps for after this conflict to be resolved. Tal, appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.